the first wedding I ever served at, I spilled red wine on the bride. She was a bit upset.
I have been to a wedding that was cancelled 3 months before when the bride found out that the groom was sleeping with his co-worker.
My brother's wedding was a bit tricky. They had snow and in the middle of March, and one obviously expected, and so transport was quite difficult, so some guests didn't end up coming.
Yeah, I've been to a few, and people drink too much strong liquor and always ends up in a brawl, like a fight. You know what I mean? I've been to a few with them.
Can you tell that story?
All right, so Tom Cruise is staying at the same hotel. My daughter, who had just got married, found out about him, and the following morning when he was going off to the studios to film his latest film, he got into the car surrounded by his minders with umbrellas covering him so that he shouldn't be seen by anybody. And she shouted out amongst the din, "Can I have a picture with you?" And he just drove off without acknowledging her. And he just said, actually, he said, have a nice work, have a good life, or something like that. And then later he felt guilty, sent back his sister to the hotel in his limo, asked all the wedding party, to come back to the hotel. He took my daughter and my son-in-law in his car, back to the hotel, back to the studios, I should say, to take them round Warner Brothers studio on the Harry Potter tour, sit down with him with a drink, and shook our hands and had a whole conversation with us, and photographs, and it was great.
And everything was really, really good, but the food was stone cold. It was so, I never said anything, but it was really bad.
Oh my God, I've got a great one. Okay, there was somebody proposed while this is a real story. So it was about a year ago. They were cutting the cake, massive thing. Everyone's watching the bride and the groom cut the cake, and then suddenly, right in front of them, one of the guys, a friend, knelt down and proposed to his girlfriend while they were cutting. I think that's pretty awful.
The only disaster really was my wedding dress. I decided I didn't like my dress on about a week before my wedding day, and I told my husband, and he said, "Oh well, never mind." And so I had to go up the aisle. Actually, it was a Jewish wedding, so not exactly an aisle, but I had to go in a really revolting meringue kind of outfit, which I felt very unhappy about. So that's my story.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she behaved terribly at another friend's wedding, so she had to save the date for a following wedding that was coming up and never got an invitation. The girl just ended up not returning her phone calls, and it got a bit awkward. So yeah, I don't know. What's an extra person if you've already sent them an invitation, you know?